Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to roll right into part 2 of our bonus episode. I hope you all have already listened to the first part and enjoyed some of the things that Miss Jaye and I discussed as far as our childhood experiences all the way up into our adult experiences within our religions and our growing up in our different churches. So I hope you all have enjoyed what you've heard so far. This is going to just pick right off where we left off, so please enjoy. Here we go. Because yes, Catholic. I love my Nana's death, and I do appreciate the Catholic Bible because the Catholic Bible does go into depth on. There's some extra books on their side, and it goes into depth on the angels. Like learning about the angels' names and all that other stuff and who they are. They don't really go into that at all. In King James or the Baptist church, they don't.
Keeps it real simple.
Jesus, the Holy Ghost, the Lord our God.
The Lord.
And then they talk about, of course, you hear when they talk about Gabriel, that's pretty much it. And of course, Michael, the archangel. But you don't really hear any of those other separate the angels that existed.
And just really fast. That's why people like my dad especially, he studies the word and he has books upon books upon books. So whatever he doesn't hear in the church for that day, he'll go and find out more for himself. Yeah. And to me that's a good thing to do too. You don't have to just stop at what you heard for the day.
Right.
You can keep going.
Absolutely. I do think, because especially nowadays with the internet, there's so much information out there.
There is.
When you learn about, there's other books that aren't necessarily published as part of the King James Bible, but they are part of the others, and then there's certain different ones that touch on different stories that King James doesn't.
King James is very condensed.
It is, but it isn't. Because it's big, it's a big old
But they were like,
book.
We just package up these 66 books real quick.
Right.
Just take this. Use this.
But I do appreciate the church that I go to because it's never you gotta go to church or you you sinful and you going to hell. You know what I mean? Where some churches do be like that. They're like, you going to hell.
Yeah.
But last thing I want to touch on real quick was I want to know, how you were talking about in your church. So when y'all went through announcements, I'm just curious because in the Baptist church, the announcements themselves can take 20 to 30 minutes because you have, like you said, first of all, they'll, and it's always the old mother of the church is the one. Why I don't know why they always have her reading instead of my young youthful.
It's not like the church announcement that Ricky Smiley does. It's not like that at all.
Yes, no. That's exactly how ours was. They would go all over the place. So you talk about like you said, if there is an upcoming celebration, then it would be about the anniversary of such just passed. We have such birthdays, such if there's graduations coming up. They were talking about that. Then they would talk about the building fund. Always the building fund. Okay? The building fund. Then you had a parking lot fund.
Dog.
Then, because the parking lot, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes our parking lot would get jacked up. And I don't know what would happen, but it would get messed up. So you had the building fund, parking lot fund. Then they talked about, this is all... if you had a baby, what days you can come to do the
dedications?
Ours wasn't called a baby dedication. It was actually called the christening.
Okay.
So the baby christening. Then if you were planning on getting baptized, these were the dates for your baptisms.
Okay.
So as I said, it would be like a whole I would fall off into a whole nap because it would be a whole 20, 30 minutes of them talking about the announcements. Can't go. I don't know why they wouldn't allow us to go use the bathroom during announcements. We couldn't get up then. Can't chew gum. Can't have no candy. No candy in church. Can't do any of that. Then it was you can't fall asleep.
Oh no.
And if you didn't have your Bible, you get plucked for that, for not remembering to bring your Bible. And then you go through all the stuff. And then after announcements is another 3, 4, 5 minutes. No, probably 5, 10 minutes of singing, of the choir, like the choir singing. Then you do the offerings.
No.
Then you go and you sing again.
Nah.
Then the pastor comes on.
I don't like that.
Then after he leaves, you got one more set of announcements.
Why?
And then you got to leave.
Why couldn't just do everything in one time?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so that wasn't my experience. So they split announcements, like usually after breaking the bread and the wine and stuff, you sing
right,
again.
You had yours
every you sang, and then the collection is passed, and then like you sing, and then the one of the guys would stand up. Usually it's my uncle who would they would usually read letters of like if there's a visitor from like another church, so you don't look at them crazy. So that he'd be like, greetings from.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, part, greetings from Lake Worth, Florida.
Do we have any new visitors?
No, wait, not that way.
Oh,
hold on. I'm staging it up for you. I'm talking about he would read which brother was visiting. Yes, the face. Because you're like, oh, okay. And it's like, I don't know. It's like more like you remember in Game of Thrones, they would write like a scroll and like send it by Raven.
So wait, so a brethren has to announce himself if he's visiting your brother?
They would let him know ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah, so like they probably knew like a week ahead, like, Brother Johnson's coming up from da-da-da-da. He's taking part in, because again, we're exclusive. So you looking like, well, who is that taking a piece of that bread? So they're like, they got to make sure you can do that. So he would talk about that. The celebration stuff, like I should have said that earlier. That's done in Sunday school, like birthdays, anniversaries, new births happening, Yeah, it's really like the first set of announcements are like formalities, put it that way.
Okay.
The second half in Sunday school is more like for fun stuff. And birthdays, and they sing for you. I could still sing this song, child, but I'm not. And then they would talk about what's coming up next or something, and like usually it's us, the young people, gotta do something. Mm-hmm. So like blah 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 blah. Like, oh my god, graduations are announced, people who are moving, or just good lighthearted stuff. But it never took that long.
No. Ours
like they already knew.
Minute.
Like, and then we had like a directory. Bam. We did have a directory that had everybody's address and phone number, like by family. And then it also had the birthdays. So they would know who's got a birthday this week or next week. So, yep.
So we had like not a directory, like a roster or whatever, or like you weren't a member, but you did fill out, like your first name, last name, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, and then when there's the visitors that come and visit, they say, stand up and introduce
that's what I meant to say.
And,
yeah. The visitors, the actual legit visitors, they would welcome them. Oh, there's a song for that too. I need to take some ginkgo or garlic because I'd be losing my brain cells. But yeah, they had a song for the actual visitors, like people who probably didn't even go to church at all. You want to welcome them in a nice way. Mm-hmm. And then we would go and shake hands and talk to you can make friends. There's a child your age. It's like, why? It's like, so yeah, it was always fun.
Yeah.
I honestly think my church experience, it was different, but you found fun you found love. It was very family oriented. Yeah. Very.
I would say for a lot of kids, even though I know during those times it don't seem like right. you're like I'm bored. But it is like right. you said, it is an experience for one, and for two, you still found ways to enjoy it and have fun. Because like I said, yes, even though, because I would probably annoy my nana or grandma so much that I'd be like, I won't go in the back with the rest of the kids. Yeah. And so we would go in the back, and the kids, they have fun, they laugh, they talk about dumb stuff. So we did have a good time, especially because I me and my brother only like a year apart. Mm-hmm. So we always had each other. So we would cut up with us and our friends and all that stuff in the back of the pews, if you will, and have ourselves a good time. We would laugh, kids. You point out, you laugh at the elders and people doing different things. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm thankful that I did have my older brother, because we would go back and, and talk about sister such and such. Because, they're, this sounds so bad. But as kids, as kids, there are things that you notice.
Yep.
You know, if someone had, oh, that sounds so bad. But there was one, like the older couple.
Yep.
And we would notice when the old lady's hair would be balding.
Oh.
And we'd be like, yeah, look at her hair's balding out. And so I know. But these are things kids do. You notice that. We noticed when Sister Opal, when she was, like her mustache.
Yeah.
So as kids, yes, I know they don't think that we're paying attention.
Well, we are.
We are. One, we are paying attention to the actual word, and we are receiving that. But we are also definitely trying to also make it fun for us.
Yeah.
Because if not, yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things. I didn't do it, but there's kids who would, unfortunately, take pins and stuff and scratch, like,
on the pews?
Yeah, in the back of the pews. Because we would go back there and we would read what it would say.
Dang.
Like, because it'd be like, like Michael plus Susan and da-da-da-da-da. It'd be like just all kinds of stuff.
Well, I can't talk because we would write our names in the hymnals.
Why were you writing your names in the hymnal book?
So,
in the actual book?
Yep. So, one of my the friends I grew up in church on Facebook, he took a picture. He found one. I guess either his mom had it or something, but he tagged me and the other girl who wrote our names. He was like, "Why did y'all do this?" And you see, all our names and I heart NY and like all types of just bad, no cuss words, but just like. Why are you desecrating the whole hymn?
Right,
why are you doing that?
But like you said, like I don't know why some of the kids was taking things and scraping.
I used to bring a notepad with me because like I had to just jot stuff down.
Because
so,
you were jotting stuff down. Yeah.
So I would no, not jotting stuff to learn. I'm talking about just keep my brain.
So you weren't bringing a notebook to take in the scriptures? And
you're supposed to have one. You're supposed, but how I did? Don't look at me like that. Yeah, I would just write down what I'm gonna wear for the week.
Wow.
Or remind me to tell my sister blah blah blah.
Oh my
remind
gosh.
Me, my cousin, look at the dress she got on. It's like I kept a diary.
Wow, a whole diary. You writing a diary while they up there trying to teach you about the Lord.
Right. But you said, like you just found little ways to like have a good time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because we would play. I'm telling my age, but y'all remember the little Cracker Jack games that you would get, and the little what were they called back then? Like little handheld games.
Mm-hmm.
We would
like the ones you
those.
see at Cracker Barrel?
Yeah. We would bring those. We would be in the back of the church playing that. And then during the break, we would play jacks.
Yep.
So we would play stuff like that to make it fun.
So y'all gonna think I'm bad as hell.
I was gonna say, what?
So I did one time. I did bring like cards, not a deck of cards, like matching cards.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But my friend went in my purse and pulled them out, and she decided she wanted to play during church. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was sitting behind my grandmother at this time, behind her. But y'all mama's got an eye in the back of your head. Like that phrase is very true. It's not a literal lie, but they can see what's going on. So she pulls them out. I'm like, girl, no, I ain't doing nothing. No. She's like, come on. And she has a whole hand of cards just split. I was like, why are you doing that?
Right, like you gonna get me in trouble.
Right. So I was like looking at her, I was like, okay, let me just take one.
Oh, as soon as you took that one.
In the hand of Hazel, just from how'd it go? From downtown, comes and grabs the entire deck out the girl's hand, yanks it from her, and as she's yanking it, she popped me. I was like,
all at the same time.
Right, in one move. I was like, gosh. I was like, she gonna tell my mom I'm gonna be in trouble.
Yup.
And I was, because my mom was like, why did you bring him anyway? Yeah. You know better.
See, we bought the games where we really sneaky about it. We would be like, we gotta go to the bathroom. And we'd be like in the hallway.
But there was no getting up to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Mm-mm.
We had to hold it.
We had to hold it during certain things. Like I said, like for whatever reason, during announcements, we weren't allowed to, I don't know why, but we weren't allowed to go during the announcements. But if it was like during the in between, like where the choir is singing, we could go.
Yeah.
And then, but you had to time it right. Because you had to make sure that it was in the last song and that was going to roll into the pastor.
Yeah.
Because once he starts preaching, you know that they can't get up and come look for you.
Like,
and so we would go right at the right time because we would know that they can't come and look for us right away. So we would be out there cutting up and playing. That's what we did.
I think that's about right. Because, you know, like I said, we were generally quiet. So you couldn't really make a lot of movement and go open a door to go pee.
No. Because all of the doors in churches is squeaky and loud.
Every last one of them. Every last one.
All of them. So people know, because that's another way they would embarrass you when you did have to get up and go use the restroom, because everybody could hear that door. Everybody turn around looking at you, leaving the
right. Like she had to get up just now.
Right.
It's not fair.
So, but that was again, those were my experiences of growing up in church. And I guess, like I said, I'm thankful because I did learn a lot from both sides. I did. And it just blew my mind, some of the things that once I came to try to find my own home church, some of the things that I found. Now, again, I know you don't want to go with me, but I still want to go to a snake handling church just to see it.
Won't be there. Sorry.
I just need to see
because just my luck, one will break loose out the basket. And I'm spending my whole life terrified. Oh my God, I can't put my feet down.
Stand on top of the chairs in the pew.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, girl, like
girl, it's a garden snake. It ain't gonna hurt you.
It don't matter."
But yeah, I want to go to one. You know, I haven't been to either. Just I've never been to a mosque either.
I was gonna say that I would like to go.
Yeah.
Oh, growing up, I grew up a lot of Jewish kids. I've never been to a synagogue.
Really?
Nope, I wasn't.
I've never been to a synagogue either, but I didn't grow up.
I wasn't allowed to go.
I don't really think I knew anyone.
Oh, I knew a ton.
Or unless they just never said anything.
No, like I think I said it once, either just to you or just in passing, but I couldn't even go to like bar bat mitzvahs. I couldn't go.
Why couldn't you go?
Because they were Jewish and we was Christian. I don't know. Like,
wait, so even as a friend, you're not allowed to go? You have to be...
Okay, this is not because of the church I went to. This is because of my mom and my daddy.
Oh, so your mom, it wasn't that you weren't invited. Yeah. It was that you weren't allowed to
She was
go.
like,
okay.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Because also, you know why? I think she's probably trying to protect me or maybe protect her, because Jewish folk don't be broke. And so you got to bring a nice gift and, you know what I mean?
You can't show up with a Deco Uno card.
Right. You can't just bring like a...
You need a whole Rolex.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. I was like, okay. So I hear all the stories. But no, I would like to go to a mosque. I'd like to go to a synagogue.
I would like to go to a synagogue.
Just to experience it for myself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's one God.
Right. It is. And again, they are of the same, Christian faith. Some people do or don't believe that Jesus Christ is our Savior, but they do believe in God and they do believe. So I think sometimes it is worth going to visit just to have those experiences. I mean, my ex-husband was Jehovah's Witness, and there's certain certain, what's the word?
Restrictions?
No, not restrictions, but,
certain things you just couldn't do.
Not statutes. I don't know. There's certain things that people have you believing of other religions. I can't think of it. I'm horrible with words. I'm great with definitions, you guys. I'm horrible with words. But so you have that in your brain. Like I was told, they don't believe in Jesus. They don't do this and they don't do that. Now, yes, they do have certain rules. Like I didn't know that at their church a female can't go in with shorts or pants.
Neither could we.
You have to, this is what you said in your religion. Mm-hmm. So you do actually have to wear a dress.
And we wore head coverings.
As a female. See, now and they're not even that strict. You don't have to wear a head covering. Mm-hmm. But they don't celebrate birthdays. They don't celebrate holidays. They don't celebrate that stuff. But they do believe in Jesus and they do certain things, but it's not. It was another one of those things where me growing up, when you hear about it, they're like, oh, like it's like, oh no, stay away from them because, they're like, they almost made it seem like it was cultish.
And that's how I hate to even bring it back to me, like, but like that's how like mine would probably appear to the naked eye because because of the way they're structured. Like they're very closed off. You can't do this. You can't do that. Da, da, da. And it's like everybody kind of dresses like a Quaker sometimes. Like you don't show your ankles. You don't. You can't show your neck. You can wear lipstick. You can wear makeup. It's like stuff like that.
See, and I think in the Jehovah's Witness really you can't wear makeup and lipstick. You can't. Shoot, I was just thinking about it. You can't. They won't go into a church.
Yeah,
because they don't believe in they don't believe in the cross being displayed.
Yeah,
they know that Jesus died on the cross and stuff because they actually, again, like I said, they do believe in Jesus Christ, but you can't have a cross. Like you can't wear a Jesus piece. They don't believe in that. You can't, like when we got married, we couldn't get married in a church because they don't believe in going to a church. That's why they have the Kingdom Hall. Yeah, so it's different when their wedding ceremony. Everyone sits in chairs on the podium. Like it was just different. Like there is no standing up at the altar. They don't do that. So that was a different experience that I actually learned. But there also, like I said, there were those certain, whatever that term is, that people taught me growing up. But I was like, that doesn't happen in this religion at all. So that's why I think it is good to go out there and visit other churches and, see what they do. Which is why I want to go to a snake handling church.
You can go by yourself.
See it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even though I didn't grow up Baptist, I do appreciate a good Baptist gospel music, praise and worship. Like that's something that I have held dear to my heart as I've grown up into an adult because I didn't get that growing up. So like I love all the greats. I love, some John P. Key. Some Kirk Franklin, some Fred Hammond, some even go back to the Reverend James Cleveland. I love all of those, that whole little bucket of praise and worship part of being a Christian. That's my jam. Because there's something wrong with like hymns though. Well, let me just say that. Because there's some.
There ain't nothing like when the church starts gets up and they start clapping.
Right.
They say, I like living this kind of life.
Right.
I'm living my best life.
I like.
I love that. And I love it when they be doing the runs and they be like,
oh, man.
What's that song? Shoot. Doggone it.
By who?
I don't know. It's a choir song with.
Oh, I love me a good grand mass, Georgia Mass Choir, Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. I love all of those.
When they be having the altos and sopranos.
Yeah.
Go back.
I love them all. Donald Lawrence, I love them all. I love them all. So, yeah. But yes, I really enjoyed this episode. I feel like there should be another bonus episode to pick up some other stuff because we didn't get to touch on funerals. We didn't get to touch on weddings as far like in the Black church because we do things differently.
We can split this into two-part bonus.
We might just have to
because
because when we were in our final Samson episode, we talked about the homegoing, and I do want to do a little deeper dive on that if we get a chance to. Because I promise you, and then also baptisms are different too. Did you get baptized?
Yeah, this is Baptist religion. Yeah, they do. they baptize. That's when excuse me. Again, you guys, I have a very weird sense of humor. And I did enjoy going to watch other people get baptized just to see what their reaction would be.
Okay, really fast. And then we can come to a close. So when I got baptized, it was on Fort Lauderdale Beach. In front of everybody.
Wait, nope. Sorry. No. We're going to keep this rolling and I'm just going to have to split this into two parts. Because I'm curious. Because I have always wondered if people did baptize people, besides in the Bible times, in bodies of water, of lake and ocean. Because for me, again, it's actually a little pool behind the actual pulpit.
We ain't had it. We went to the beach.
So,
okay.
So, hold on.
Wait,
no. Because I have questions. I'm sorry. Okay. So, on the day of baptism, is because you guys, I'm assuming, have to drive to the ocean. Is there like a specific day that they set aside for multiple people to get baptized, or is it special to you?
It's multiple people. It's probably like first or last
did y'all
Sunday.
Bus up?
No, we never had a bus.
Okay, so everybody had to be at the beach at a specific time.
Yes.
Okay, please continue.
Okay, so This is so crazy. So yeah, we would be the people who are getting baptized would be in white. We were in white from head to toe. And can you just put this in your brain? Picture this, okay? There are cars being parked in the parking lot for Lauderdale Beach. You got people coming out dressed in all white, number one. Dressed like they still at church, number two. Still got on church shoes and church slacks and church button-ups and full dresses, and they have Bibles in their hands and all of those things. And you are literally making a procession to the water.
Y'all had
while
all of the bystanders scared.
Ma'am, while
I am
singing.
sure people were like, what in the cult is happening?
He absolutely did. So, we get to the shore. It's probably my uncle that probably led it, I guess. They did, hey man, and they scripture reading, and then they get the people who are being baptized. So I remember with me. So we walk down and they're still singing. I don't know what song it was. I'm sorry, my brain is packed of useless information, but I can't remember what song it was.
Was it Going Up Yonder?
No, it was not. But you get to a halfway point in the water, where it's at your waist. And you're literally how you position yourself to, I guess when your hands are across,
yeah,
yeah,
you're raising yourself to be.
Yes, so to be dunked. Yeah, so yeah, you have onlookers what the heck, what they doing? Who probably having a whole beach day to themselves with their kids or whatever.
I'll tell you right now, I would have been like, Mama,
but. This is what I'm going to get you. So I got dunked. Okay. In the name of the Lord. Hallelujah. She did it. Okay, good. So you go back to the shore, you dry off, and, they baptize everybody else and you're done. I think the benefit of that was they were able to reach people. What are y'all doing? I'll be glad to tell you. This is part of being a Christian. You know what I mean? They're still canvassing, if you will, Christianity.
I can see that.
So
yes.
I remember vividly now people well, can I get y'all's information? How do I do that? I've never done it. I know God, but I don't really know God like that. But I want to know.
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, on Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Wow.
Where I swam during my summers.
Is there there's no sanction against that?
They prayed over the section that was.
Well, no, I mean the county. I wonder if they had to have approval.
I don't know about that.
To do that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't think.
I'm pretty sure they got all kinds of reports. They'd be like, I just was trying to take my kids to the beach and enjoy my day. But then here comes a whole cult of people dressed in white. And they're out there telling us we all sinful. But the beach because we were in bikinis.
No, we weren't telling you y'all were sinful. You just happened to hear that you were sinning. And maybe you should come this way.
You was just in an earshot.
Yeah. But I mean, the beach is for anybody.
True,
so
but no,
people get married. I mean, I don't know about permits, but I don't think that was required, and it didn't take long.
How many of them were y'all?
How many? It usually 3.
Oh, okay. So it ain't 10, 15 people.
No,
okay.
And it wasn't next, next. No.
Next.
I forgot who my baptism people were. I don't remember who, but I know I was one of the last to get baptized in my family. Okay. Because I was always scared. Don't ask me questions why. Sometimes I'm a little extra. Okay.
Do you not to swim?
I swam. I was scared that no, it wasn't scared fear of going under. I had a fear of not being able to live up to certain expectations.
Oh, so once I'm baptized, then I have to live perfectly.
So I spent a whole year not cussing when I was in school. I was like, darn, because I just got baptized. It got to be good. So I was heavy on trying to be
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I did that to myself as well. Because again, my grandfather made me promise, to read the Bible every day. And so, if I did not cuss for a year, I ain't gonna tell you that because that's a whole lie. But I had reserved from cursing on Sundays. I was like, Sunday is a holy day. Yeah. I will not cuss on that day. And so I didn't curse at all on Sundays.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There is that certain expectation of life. But yeah, no, like I said, I have a very weird sense of humor. So I would enjoy watching other people get dunked in water at the pulpits on their days because people didn't really dress up white, but they would put you in, they would either tell you to wear something comfortable and then they would put you in a robe. And then, people would go up, and then the preacher's there, and the pulpit, he's there already. And then they dump people. And I just would love, because...
You're terrible.
When people would come up and
snot running and just...
Hallelujah!
You're right. But see, I was good because like I said, I swam, so I was prepared. Hold your breath and come back up, and you're fine.
And I don't know why people didn't think to hold their breath. Most people didn't. They act like they was like coming up to the water. I'm like, what are you doing? It's still a pool. I don't know why you didn't hold your breath. Just hold your breath. And it's never like they're dunking you like you dunk an Oreo in milk and keep it down there. It's like it's a quick dip and you're back up. Oh, see, no. I don't care.
Wait.
If it's Catholic or the Baptist side, it isn't a quick dip.
Why?
Because they.
How many dips?
It's one, but you are held. So if this is I know y'all can't see me. I'm just showing her visually. If this is a person, you get dipped, and then they put their hand on your forehead. Yeah. And then they hold you down and they say the whatever words or prayers or whatever. The power of grace compels you. And then they hold you down.
I'm sorry.
And they were like, listen, if you trust in the Lord, you'll be able to breathe in the water. And be for a minute, and then you come back up. So it was not a quick dunk. It wasn't. But yeah, but
ours was quick.
That's what I say. People come.
No, mine was very fast.
What I really liked was because again, we black people, the hairdos that I would see coming up out of that water. Because, if it's a lady getting dunked, I don't know why, they try to be looking cute. But then I'm like, girl, your hair going to be so messed up.
It's not going to make... I don't know why you spend all that time doing a press and curl to go underwater.
To be dunked today.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, man, you should have kept it in 2 ponytails.
Little bun. Little chignon.
But yeah, so that's how we did it. I've never experienced or seen anyone while I'm at the beach walk up to the beach to do a whole baptism. I've never seen that in my life.
We didn't have a baptism.
So did you guys have christenings or baby dedications?
Oh, give me a second. I don't think we did either.
Really?
I'm trying to think.
So yeah, because I
might need a lifeline for that one
to remember. If did.
But I'm gonna say in our next episode we pick back up. But right now I'm gonna say I don't think we did either. Okay. But I just know for me, I know I was christened because I got pictures. Mama got pictures of me.
So if you were christened, then they didn't.
But remember, I was born in New York, so we could have attended a different church when I got christened.
So there's no Brethren Church in New York.
Oh, there's plenty. Oh, but I'm just saying. I know I have been christened because I saw the picture.
Right.
I don't think it was at the Brethren Church.
Okay, I gotcha.
So
no, we were all.
I'll have to check with my mama and my sisters to double, but I'm pretty sure.
My oldest, my grandfather, he christened her. I didn't get my youngest christened because again, her dad was Jehovah's Witness. He didn't really believe in that, so he was against it. But I probably still, I'm gonna sneak some oil on her forehead.
Put a little dot. I love the present day baby dedications that we do at church. Mm-hmm. I think those are precious because I guess you can call it a christening too, right?
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing, but I think it's sweet. Just praying over the baby, and they're looking like, why is this man holding me?
Right, they looking so confused, but they are cute with the little bonnet and the little cap.
Yeah,
on
the little
head.
bonnet.
But as far as funerals, to be honest, I have never, as a young person, I never actually went to a funeral. So I never experienced a funeral as a young person. It wasn't until I was older, probably 20, which is when my great grandmother passed away. That was, I think, my first actual funeral attendance. And for her, this is my first lady grandmother, it was her mom. And so we went to her. She lived in a very small town called Smithfield, North Carolina. Don't laugh, y'all. My Aunt Louise and my Uncle Screwball. That was his name.
Uncle who?
Screwball.
Uncle what?
Screwball. To this day, I could not even tell y'all what that man's real name was.
You don't know your uncle.
Because that was his name. That was what we were told. Aunt Louise and Uncle Screwball. Wow. And they had little chickens and stuff in the back. But all 3 of them lived together in the house forever. And when she passed away, That was the first funeral I went to. And
you were how old?
20.
Oh, okay.
I was 20 years old. And for her, there wasn't like all that, like how you see in the movies of people shouting and screaming and all that stuff. They didn't have any of that. It was a very small town. People was crying and boo-hooing and all that stuff, but there was no craziness. Now, what I will say, what creeped me out was hers was all the way open casket. And on top of that, I don't know what religion she considered herself, but whatever theirs was in her program, they put the body right in front of the exit door.
The exit door?
Yes. So during the service, it's in the front, but no one's allowed to leave until they move the body to the exit door. Whoa. And then you all were forced to walk by the body. Oh, that's... Because they, again, casket was still open.
That's a lot.
That was terrifying for me. Because I thought I was going to be able to go before that happened. And they were like, no, we all have to sit and wait. They're going to wheel the body to the back. And we have to, I was like, oh.
I have never heard that.
So I had to squeeze my mama's hand real hard. At 20 years old, yes, it did. Because I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And she was like, girl, calm down. You going to be okay. I was like, I don't want to do it. Because I don't know. It looked weird. And they forced you had to walk by. On the way to leave the building, you had to go by the body. So that was my first ever funeral experience.
So, okay, I don't remember my first, but I will say I had been to a couple. Yeah. Like, as many funerals I've been to, as many weddings I've been to. Like, people say, I've never been to a wedding before. I done been in several. Really? Yes. I was always somebody's flower girl.
I'm 40-something years old. I've never been in anybody's wedding. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. I've been in one wedding. One wedding. It was my sister's.
I have a career as a bridesmaid, a flower girl, a hostess, junior bridesmaid. And does that maid of honor? I was maid of honor.
Yeah, no.
Two times.
Wow. Nope. I've only been in one wedding.
That's wow. But yeah, the funeral side... there's a superstition, I should say, you don't let kids go to funerals. I think that's like a black thing. Have you heard that before?
No.
Like generally, you don't want a child like too young to go to a funeral. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Probably because they don't understand it. But I just know like when I went to funerals, I was like 7, 8, 9. Like I had aunts that unfortunately passed away, like older aunts.
Yeah. And like great or grand aunts or whatever.
Yeah, like that. And then some members of the church were already old, so we would go to their service. So yeah, I have had my share of both the homegoing and the nuptials.
So in the Brethren religion, do they have like loud shouts and outbursts and all that stuff?
I mean, at the end of the day, we are still black people. Let me just say it like that. Okay? So no, like... They have their moments. Like, okay, I can give you a prime example. My aunts both have passed away in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I will say you're not going to hear a lot of wailing and, oh, Lord, take me now. Mm-hmm. But you're going to see emotion. Right. You know, it's not like the standard, why, Lord, why not me? But, you know, some people just can't keep it together. Mm-hmm. So, with the Brethren service for funerals, it's very what's the word? It's happy, but it's still sad. You know what I mean? It's a good send off.
So because it's a homegoing.
Yes, and it's not like you're not sitting there constantly weeping and moaning. Like I unfortunately had to go to a friend's service who passed away in 2021, and he grew up Baptist. And we spent, that was the saddest service because like it was just so much wailing and that stuff transfers. Mm-hmm. So like you find a moment where you're like, yeah, I'm remembering it. And all of a sudden you hear a wail to your right. You're like, oh God, they ain't going in. And he started doing it too. But with the Brethren Church, it's not really like that. Okay. And you're going to do a lot of singing, a lot of scripture reading, a lot of like reassurance, they're in a better place, yada, yada, yada. Graveside, same thing. It's like, you kind of get to a place when you finally reach the graveside, it's like, you know what? They're in good hands. This is just a physical body. Their spiritual body, they're with their Lord. We good. Mm-hmm. You're still sad, but there's nobody gonna dive behind the casket and be like, no, and I can't ain't. There's none of that.
So like I said, my great grandma, that was my first one that I went to. Then another one that I went to was, I think it was like a second cousin or something. Somebody I didn't really know that well, but my mom was like, well,
Yeah.
the family wants us all to go. So we went to that one. That one wasn't that bad. And it wasn't until my mother's fiance, he died literally it was like a month before my wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And so he passed away and his family came up. Because my daughter was really, she was young at that time, but she was close to him because she was very close to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did go, I did take her. And that was the first time I experienced all of the wailing and the shouting and the crying.
Now, were they Baptist?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if they were Baptist or Lutheran. I don't know. His family is from Florida. That's all I know. But yeah, on that one, there was a whole lot of crying, a lot of wailing. No one actually tried to throw themselves in anything. The next funeral, which is my ex's mother, and actually, unfortunately, these were both in the same year. Mm-hmm. Probably like 4 or 5 months from each other. She was Jehovah's Witness, right? And she raised her kids. But she's a child of like 13, I think. And none of her siblings, they're from New Orleans, none of them are Jehovah's Witness.
She's the only one.
She was the only one. Oh. So everybody else is a good old, probably Baptist, Protestant, whatever, Lutheran, whatever their religion was. When I tell you, I have never in my life seen so many people cut up at a funeral. It was so much going on. Because one, there was some animosity there because she was Jehovah's Witness and they weren't. And so her mother, because her mother was still alive. She's still alive to this day. She wanted her funeral to be, like a regular, like Baptist type funeral. Yeah. But the husband was like, nope, she was Jehovah's Witness. We have to have it in the Kingdom Hall. Yep. And so, and he was like, she has to, I guess in their rules, I think after certain days, remember how we was talking about how like James Brown sat forever and stuff like that? Like, Oh, and sorry, pause on this story real quick. If I go back to the one with my mom's fiance, it took a minute for us to bury him.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say they're Jamaicans now. They don't fast track a funeral. That body is waiting.
Right. Yeah.
The body does not get buried right away.
No, I think for him it was almost like 2 weeks because
I'm like, what y'all waiting for?
Right. But for he was previously married, had a son all the way in California. So they had to wait for him because my mom they were engaged, but they weren't married yet. And they did live together. So technically domestic partnership, Mm-hmm. But the son is next of kin. Mm-hmm. So they had to actually wait for him to be able to get a ticket to come so they can finalize all the funeral stuff and then get the stuff out then for the family. So it took about 2 weeks or so for him. But for my ex's mom, it wasn't that long. He was like, nope, let's go ahead. And I was like, oh, wait. Like, don't you? Yeah. So the family was already upset because they felt rushed. Mm-hmm. And then they came and it wasn't where they wanted her to have her service. The sisters cut up.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I'm talking about the whole, just like what's that? The Kingdom of the one with Jada Pinkett where she was
Kingdom Come.
Yeah, Kingdom Come, where she was stood up and all of that happened. And they were behind because again, this is my ex-husband, this is his mom. So we're family first family. So we're in the first pews. Her sisters and brothers, all this stuff are like behind us. All of a sudden, you feel someone stand up, start screaming. She was like, ah! She just started screaming out of nowhere, and then flew back. Flew back, and they had to catch her because she fainted and passed out. Then they had to carry her out. Yes. No. So then that, like you said, it triggered a whole so she fell out. Another sister started wailing and screaming, and then another one started. I was like, what's going on? No. And now, mind you, there's also kids there. Oh, and everybody's looking around like, what in the world is going on?
That's why the kids couldn't come to the funeral.
Right. And so they was carrying people out, and for their funerals, I can't remember. I think they're cremated. I don't think they ever.
For Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah. It's one of the two. They don't believe in one of the two of them at all. So if it's not cremation, then, it's the body or one or two. So that was the first time I've ever experienced people like really falling out. Like when I tell y'all fall out, I was like, whoa, this is a bit much.
Yeah.
And then at my mom's funeral, I know I was wailing. Hey, I was in the
it's
front.
Your mom.
Now,
Yeah.
I ain't fall out and pass out. We didn't have none of that. But yeah, it's like certain things were very, very emotional. And I know, like I told y'all, I said we would touch on this funeral episode. And so here we are. So my dad just passed away like last year.
Oh boy. Wait, hold up. Do you need a drink?
No, I don't need a drink.
Okay, good.
So remember, his mom was Catholic.
Yes.
His wife was, I think they operated non-denominational. Mm-hmm. And my dad was in the military.
Yep.
So for whatever reason, my family couldn't get along enough to decide on how to have a proper funeral. I'm going for my daddy. Man. And my grandmother was very adamant. My son is Catholic. He will be buried as a Catholic. And his wife was like, well, I want to make sure we have a service the way that he wanted to have a service. And then my dad was in the military, so my dad always wanted a military service. Oh, as the kids, we knew that. So we were like, why can't we just have one service? Let's just do the military service and move on with our lives because this is too much. Either way, they could not agree. We had 3 funerals. The first funeral was the one that his wife put together. And we were involved in a little bit of the choices for the verses to read and all that stuff. And the picture to use for the homegoing pamphlet and all that stuff. So we did that. That service, of course, it was open casket. He was in a suit. I think they put my dad in a suit. And it was like in a church. And so family members had came and all this stuff. And y'all, when I tell y'all, it is real when people talk about strife that happens during the funeral. It was a lot of strife because things were rushed to put out so that people would go to certain services. And then I had to like interject with me and some of my family, like, wait. There's actually only 3. So you don't have to come to this one. You can if you want to.
You have your choice.
Right, you have a choice. But please realize there's actually these 3 different services. So I think the first one was either a Thursday or Friday. Then another one was the day after. And then his actual military service was on a Monday. So we actually had a little bit of a break in between.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so people are like, well, which one's... I can laugh now because it was... In the midst of it all, it was very frustrating. But when people are contacting you, they're like, wait, yesterday I saw a post saying it was going to be on this day, but now I'm seeing there's this one. And I'm trying to explain to people like, there's actually 3 funerals.
That's
and
stressful.
You can choose which one that you want to go to. You don't have to come to all 3 if you don't want to, but no. And so, of course, as his kids, he has 6 kids. We were like, we're going to be at all 3. This is my dad. But the rest of the family were like, y'all come to whichever one wherever the Lord moves you. Because I was like,
whichever one you can sign up for.
Right. So that first funeral, lots of crying, lots of wailing. The thing that threw me off, like, remember how we was talking before, and sound like you were saying the epitome thing and how you dry up real quick. Mm-hmm. The one thing that happened at my dad's funeral service that made me dry up real quick was the pictures. People took pictures at the funeral. Like with his body in the casket. And I was like, wait, what's happening? No. Like, can you imagine you sitting there, you're crying, I'm in the front because this is my dad. And then at the end of the service, as people are like letting people say their last goodbyes, and people go up there, selfie, and you're like, where?
We're not doing that.
I'm like, why?
We're not doing that.
What is happening? Why is a selfie being taken?
I need to happen really fast.
Yeah, go ahead. Because
for my grandmother's sister's funeral, she passed away. We are in 2023 last year, and that was in Mount Vernon, New York. My cousin actually did take pictures because we couldn't attend. We being my sisters and my mom and my dad. So he took some pictures of her in a casket, and sent it to us. But like he wasn't just up there like selfie. Like, hey, me and I was like, he wasn't doing that. Yeah. And I'd be John Brown. Somebody actually did that. Cause no. Yeah. And that lets me know for my arrangements, there will be
Man,
no selfies.
After my dad's funeral, this is one of the things that made me tell everybody I know. I'm like, please make sure your family knows what your wishes are for your funeral, because if not, it is mayhem.
So my dad is older and he has reached that stage of life where he's, just mentally preparing his kids and himself for his homegoing. So he has said several times what he wants for his services, and he told me I was in charge of the music.
Oh wow! He's like, and Jessica, you are in charge of the music, Miss J.
So I have to go make a playlist for him.
Not a funeral playlist.
A funeral playlist.
Oh wow!
And he said he wants his certain nephew, well, actually all of his nephews, to lead the service because he did grow up Brethren. Oh no, my bad. He did not grow up Brethren. He attended Brethren.
Do you know if he wants to be cremated or not?
I think I told you one time. He said, "Put me in a pine box and bury me in the backyard."
Okay, well,
but I'm sure they're gonna take the burial route. I prefer cremation, but I am the youngest of two kids. I'm already outvoted. They told me, "No, you're not cremating nobody." I'm like, all right, fine. Go ahead.
Let me tell you, I tell everybody that I know, cremation is actually better because weddings, babies, funerals,
man,
big money makers. So when it comes to funerals, they're going to be like, oh yeah, because especially if they know that he had life insurance, then I'm like, oh, you can get this casket and you can have it in line with gold and da-da-da-da-da, because that's what they tried to do with my mom. But my mother was very specific. She was like, nope. She told us, she said, cremate me, save the money, y'all split it on up. That's what she said. I don't want all that fancy stuff. Now, some of my family members did get a little bit indulgent during the funeral session. They were like, I think we should do. I was like, y'all, no, mom wouldn't want all of that. I was like, no, we're not doing all that.
Yeah, no.
But with my dad's, because he didn't tell anyone, that there was an argument on that. Mm-hmm. So that's why at the first one, his body was there. Mm-hmm. And like I said, some people took some selfies, and I was like, what in the is going on? Like I've never in my life seen that, but whatever. So that one happened. The next day was we had a little break because I think that one was on a Friday morning. Then we had a break. If anyone has ever experienced a Black funeral, it's an experience, not just for that day. If it happens over the weekend, you're going to have all kinds of stuff. So for whatever reason, we had one day of fish fry. Another day was just a get together, a party, a whole party at somebody else's house. It was a lot going on because I don't know why, but we turned it into almost like a family reunion experience.
That's what it becomes.
Because everyone now has come out and everybody's there, so everybody's like, oh well, let's do this and let's do that, and you just be like, especially if it's your parent, you're like, I just want to be left alone. I don't want to do all of this. Let me go drink my sorrows right now. But no, people literally fish fry one day, party at my sister's house another day. There's another thing. I was like, I just want to lay out. Yeah. But then the next
lay down.
Right. The next service, which I believe was either on a Sunday or Monday, that was the one my grandmother wanted, was the Catholic service. By then, his body was cremated. Because she said he's Catholic. She wants him to be cremated. So he was cremated in that one. Again, if y'all ever been to a Catholic service, very quick, maybe 35 minutes top. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that long of a service. So we went through that one and we helped my Nana kind of come up with his program for that one. No one really wilded out or anything at that one. The next day, the last one he actually wanted, which was the military service. At that service, I told y'all, the family had it with each other. People have been arguing.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And that's why I told everybody, I was like, y'all, we all emotionally drained. You done made us relive burying our dad three times. 3 times. And you wonder why everybody is running hot.
And so,
I shouldn't laugh. And I'm sorry, family, if y'all listening, but oh well. So what happened in that one was, because everybody kind of had it. And so at the military service, it was quick, but they opened it they opened the mic up. That's what happened. That's what went wrong. And so the preacher leading, he was like, I would like to open the mic up to any family members or friends that would like to say the last few words.
Nope.
When I tell y'all that became a whole battle, because it was like someone got up, and then if they saw this person got up, then the person was like, oh, well, she ain't going out say me. So then she got up and then said something. And then one of the dudes was like, they ain't gonna be the only ones to say that.
Where's the cutoff?
So then they I'm gonna get there. So then they got up. So 5 people had got up to say something. I got my brother and was like, we're gonna go up and we're gonna say some words because it's our actual dad. And so we go up, and then after us, I think a couple other people started wanting to stand up, and then that's when the priest was like, whoa. He was like, hold on. So he grabbed a mic from someone's hand. He was like, we cannot have anyone else come up here and say any words. And they were like, well, no, just one minute. And he was like, no. He said, we are on a time limit. We need to go ahead and wrap this up because we still have to do the gun salute and the burial.
Wait. Did you ever watch DMX's memorial service?
I didn't. I missed it.
That's exactly what that reminded me of.
Oh, really?
Because they actually had a cut. Like the preacher who did his, he was no nonsense. Like, did you ever hear that like somebody rushed the stage?
No.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. So really fast.
No, it sounds very familiar. That's like how my dad was.
It's a black church thing. I'm pretty sure it is.
Wow.
So this is DMX, y'all. His ex-wife spoke, and I think like Swizz probably, and like some of the Rough Riders, the people, the deans, and because at that point they had opened it up. So the pastor was trying to move on, and I guess the guy who rushed the stage was cut. They're like, you don't have any more room for any more remarks. But he rushed up there after somebody. I can't remember who it was, but like I can't grab our mics in here. But he's like, you know what? I grew up with X, and he was a good dude, and did it. And you're like, wait, you're watching like, is he on the program?
Right.
Like, I can imagine people in church like, I don't see his name.
Right.
His name was Jungle. His nickname was Jungle.
Okay.
You're like, I don't see Jungle on the program
is he
here.
a speaker?
So they cut his mic immediately. He maybe got like 30 seconds of like talk time.
Wow.
But like, I felt bad for dude because he grew up with him, and he said he was promised to speak at some point in the service, and something got a little messy. But that pastor, he says, young man, you in my house.
Oh, wow.
He said, we have order, and we have things that we have ways that we do things. And that way was not God's way.
Right.
And, in so many words, but he was like, you don't do that.
So my dad's in the military. It was an older white man, and you can't. He tried to say what he said to a whole bunch of black people, but they wasn't listening.
So they kept coming up.
So people kept coming up. So even after he had snatched the mic and was like, "Hey, whoa, we on a time limit."
So no, I'm not doing that for my my people or myself.
Yeah. So it became like I said, it came a whole battle about my dad this and or her. My dad's name Herman. Herm this and this and and they'd be like, well, I remember Herman and then
why are we fighting over the memories?
Fighting over the memories.
Why?
Fighting on what his legacy should be. It was very out of control.
Wow.
And so finally, because I was like I said, I was sitting up there with my brother. I said what I had to say because I was like, oh, yeah, y'all are tripping.
Wait, you said that in your remarks?
Well, I mean, I say those words that y'all tripping. But I was just like,
Herman went like this?
Right. Yeah, it was pretty much like, as a family, we need to be coming together to focus on, what the things that my dad believed in and what we need to hold on to strengthen the family, blah, blah, something like that. And I was like, and that, pretty much I was like, and that's it.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up. Yeah. And we're going to move forward.
We are.
And so we moved forward. We went outside. They did the gun salute. My best friend was there. She literally thought they shot at her, you guys. I tried to tell her, I was like, they shooting blanks. But it's real. If you've never been to a military funeral, and because of the way that one is set up, they're not like in a distance. Because when my mom's dad that passed away that I told y'all about a couple weeks ago, his was out when they buried him was outside. So when they did the gun salute, it was a little bit of a distance between us. But at my dad's, it was like between where you and I are right now, maybe a little bit like behind you where the window is where they were standing, and I'm here. So we're standing, and they shoot they shoot this way. Like it did almost look like they point the gun at you and shoot. And so, and it's that loud. Even though it's blanks, it's that, and like it rumbles through your body. Yeah. The sound.
I've only seen military, the gun salutes on TV.
Oh, TV. Yeah. It's very loud. So if you ever go to one, prepare yourself. But yeah, she thought she was like, oh, she's grabbing it and clutching her pearls. She thought this. I said, girl, it's blanks. So we did that. And then we went to, because yes, y'all would think that's where it ended, but it didn't. We did that. And then we took the golf cart to the actual cemetery, the plot where we, actually buried his, the urn that he was in, cremated in. So they put it in the ground and they buried his urn at the plot. Upon the burial, the gentleman who, was doing the thing, he was like, did anyone want to say any last words? And I was like, nope, we're not starting that again. And he was like, well, did anyone want to leave anything with the urn? I've never in my life heard anyone ask that before, but he did, and we were all like, no, we didn't bring anything. And my nana was like, well, he always liked these earrings, so just go ahead and throw these earrings in with him. So she literally took her earrings off, threw them into the plot. I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do. So she did that. They cover up the body. As we start to leave, my uncle goes, well, I'm going to go to my trunk and go get my golf clubs because I'm going to go hit a couple of golf balls because this is the plot where now my brother and my dad are buried and my family loves to golf. So he literally went, got a golf club and a golf ball and set himself a tee, that's what they call it, in the ground and started swinging his golf club and knocking golf balls across the cemetery. I'm not making this up, people. This is what happened. So I say that to say, I've seen some things happen in funerals where you're like,
But you're like, I done seen it all.
I've seen a lot. And that's one thing where you're like, okay, because he's my uncle, so he's older than me, and you're like, are you do you have clearance to do that?
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Are you sure that's allowed? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do it. And we're like, okay. And I'm like, all right. At that point, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to go on back to the car so we could go home because I was like, at that point, we had seen some things. I said, this is wild.
So we say that to say no. I mean, my aunt's funeral, who just passed away, great. I tend to not do well at grave sites, so I don't always go to the burials. Okay, I skip a lot of them. Before I get to my aunt, one of my friends who passed away, was it 2017? One of my good girlfriends. That gravesite was just too much because it was unexpected. She was a young mother and an ex-wife as well. So when he held it, I'm saying he as in her ex held it together. But until when you hear that click when they're dropping the casket, that to me that's when stuff goes awry. Because when that happens, it's just like a signal for like mayhem to happen, right? When it comes to like emotions and how So when she was being lowered, he lost it. Yeah, and it was like just so painful to watch because like her older kids were there, and like other family members didn't like him having this kind of reaction because you're the ex. Why are you so emotional? Like just stupid stuff. You know what I mean? So it was like so I tend to skip a lot of. Yeah, but going back to my aunt, that was very peaceful. They did throw roses into the plot when it got lowered, but other than that, it was like okay, we gonna move on from this and be okay.
The first one I went to my great grandma, like I said, besides having me forced by a body, her burial was peaceful. My Aunt Louise, that was the other one that I told you my mom made me go to. That one was peaceful. My grandfather's, like I told y'all, the funeral service was comical, but his burial, that was peaceful. Dad's, that funeral wasn't peaceful at all. My mom's was pretty peaceful, but again, we didn't even do a burial. Actually, I still have her urn. And then my dad's dad, when he passed away several years ago, his was, I think that was the one that hit me hard. Like when they were lowering him into the plot, my legs buckled on that one. Because I was like, that's because, again, like I was just telling y'all, growing up every summer, when I tell y'all we were shipped off to our grandparents, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. Yeah. And all of us, we love our grandparents really, really deeply. So when they was dropping him down, like I said, my legs buckled. I was like, somebody hold me up, because I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel you. That's why I don't do well, because of my grandmother, the one I talked about earlier. Like, that's my lady. I have her birthday tattooed on my back. When she got lowered, it was like, oh gosh. And like you said, your knees buckled. I was holding on to my sister. And here we are. This might make y'all laugh, but here we are just comforting each other as siblings and as granddaughters. Here comes this random lady. To this day, my grandmother passed in 2005. We are in 2023. I still don't know who this was. Comes to us, puts her arms around both of us. It's okay. Let it out. Don't worry. We're like, who is touching me right now? Have no idea who this woman is.
Huh.
And before y'all get, maybe it was an angel. No. Because when she let go, I saw her go talk to somebody else. Like,
I mean, she still could have been angels just talking to right to
you've seen angels. Well, whatever.
Right.
She was just a busybody. She seen people crying and want to go hug other people.
Okay, so we're going to touch on that real quick. Because I don't get. Because my dad, I had so many people walk up to me that I had no idea who they were. Oh, you're Regina, you're his oldest daughter. He talked about you all the time. I'm such and such.
Nope.
As y'all have heard me say plenty of times, I'm a Scorpio, and I am a great, strong Scorpio. And so when people I get to the point where I'm like, don't ask me stuff that you don't honestly want to answer to.
Nope.
Like warn me if you just say something, vent, go ahead and tell me that, because if not, you're gonna hear my mouth. So when people walk up to me and they're like, oh, do you know him? Like, no, I don't know you.
No.
Nope, I don't know who you are. Sorry. And they'll be like, really? I'm like, no. No, I don't know who you are. Sorry. And then people, can you take a picture? No.
Nope.
I'm not doing that.
Nope.
Well, if you ever need me, call me. No, thank you.
No.
I don't know you.
So I expect that happened with me and my grandma's funeral, obviously. Yeah. And I will expect that, when it's time for my parents or whatever. But like, say my aunt's funeral, like there was a lot of people, I was like, I don't know who that is. You coming up to me and like, aren't you James's Yeah. I don't know who you are. Yeah. And like, I mean, I'm being respectful and polite, but I'm like, I don't remember you. You might have a version of me that I'm not aware of, but I don't know who you are. So don't expect me to have an emotional connection to you, because I don't.
Well, especially the people like, I remember you when you was 4 or 5. And like, thank you.
Okay. And you looking like, really?
I don't. The only people, again, that I remember really, really closely is like, we used to call her Aunt Norma. And Uncle Charlie, because these are my grandparents' best friends. And my grandmother's name is Mildred, and her best friend's name was Mildred as well. Mm-hmm. So I know those people,
right?
And I know a few others. But some people, when they be walking up to you at funerals, you're like, I don't know you. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I don't.
But I don't know you. I don't know why you're talking to me.
And that's another thing. As a patron, it's okay to just sit and be an observer.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to be like, make a point to go to the family.
Right. It's one of those things where sometimes you do have those, this is going to sound so bad, but you have, what do you call them? Like funeral groupies, if you will. Ooh. Like people who just actually want to be there and say, oh, well, I was there because I made food for the family, or I helped the family, and I just
clout chasers.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, I didn't ask you to do all that. Yeah. Thank you for showing up and doing all that, I guess. But may the Lord be with you. I don't know. What else do you want from me? Like, I don't know you. I don't want to follow you on Facebook. I don't want I don't know. There's no connection that I have at all to you. But it's interesting that people do come out the woodwork, and then you're like, I don't know. I don't know you.
No. With my aunt's funeral, there were people there that I haven't seen in years, that I remember, that I know I grew up with, and I was very happy to see them, you know, but like, if my thing is like this, if you're not really that close to the family, you don't have to, like you said, be the funeral groupie and what's the word? Push yourself on them. Yeah. Like, I know you. I know some of your members of your family. Like, if it was, you know, a cousin of yours that passed away, I ain't gonna go up and like, oh my God, I am Regina's co-host, you know, blah, 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 blah. They could be like,
we don't know you.
Like, why is she here, Ike? Like, why? Like, there's certain cultures that, you know, that we have in the Black church with the funerals and stuff. Like, just stop. You're doing the most.
Right. So to wrap up this episode, I would like to end off by asking, what kind of funeral would you like to have?
Okay, so y'all know my personality by now. It's going to be an extravaganza.
It's going to be an entire show.
It's probably going to be a showcase. I would not mind.
I probably have to bring my mic in. If I outlive Miss J, the broadcast from her funeral.
Yes, I mean you can go live. No, no,
I refuse. I am not streaming live on the gram.
Yes, I fully expect my nieces and nephews to do a little performance in dedication of me. No, but I do not want anything open. Matter of fact, don't put my physical body there.
I thought you wanted a drip ceremony, though.
Maybe a private one.
Okay, no, but I was going to say, if you're going to have a drip ceremony, your cat's got to be open.
No, but like, honestly, I don't want people to focus on looking at the body. Like, I don't like it. I hate it. I hate to use the word hate, but I hate it.
No, I agree. Like, the embalming, it all depends on how it goes. Yeah. My mom's whoever did hers was great. Yeah. Whoever did my dad's was good. Who did my grandpa's? Absolutely not. That was not good at all. I'm
serious. I'm going to adjust my living will. Don't put me in this casket on display. I'd rather you have some nice pictures up on the altar of me in my glory years. Okay. And me looking fabulous, because that's how I want you to remember me anyway. With my grandmother, it took a minute for me to actually look at her in the casket. Yeah. And then when you see the person in the casket, they don't look the same because of the embalming and all that stuff.
Because the embalming and then the makeup and all that stuff.
God awful makeup. So, one of my exes who passed away, he I don't want to say it, but he had an accident and certain things on his body was not the same. So when you look, it's like, that ain't him. Yeah. So I was like, I think I briefly glanced at him. I was like, nope, that's enough. Yeah. So I was like, no. So I would prefer, don't put me on display. I want you to have a good time. Of course you're going to cry, but I want to be celebrated. I'm dead serious. Right. Put that show on. Okay? Yeah. Put a little 10-minute skit about how I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. All of that. Okay? I don't want, you're going to cry, yeah, but I don't want none of that. I do not.
You want it to be you don't want to say a happy occasion, but you do want people, like you said, celebrate my life, celebrate my memory.
You don't have to wear all black. You can wear pink if you want to.
I don't want people to wear black at my funeral. I would prefer people to wear white.
Wear whatever you want. My god aunt, we had to wear white for hers.
You had to wear white. Yeah. My dad's, because again he was in the military, so we all decided to wear military blues. Anything in the military bluish hue to all of all three of his services. No. I had 3 different dresses, you guys. No. But yeah, so we stuck with that because I was like, I don't want to wear black. Yeah. I wore black for my mom. I wore black for some of my other, like the grandparents and stuff like that. But I know for me, for my service, I gotta tell my husband all the time, cremate me. Y'all cremate me.
Child, if y'all listening, write this stuff down.
Right. I want a nice urn. I don't need a gold crusted urn or a platinum urn. Just a little nice urn. Now, unfortunately, my best friend, well, actually, she got saved a bit. because I had made her promise me that if I was to pass away before Prince did, she was supposed to take some of my ashes and just kind of find Prince and blow it on him.
Find Prince.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how, but that's the task that you have been destined with for me.
Okay.
That's my last dying wish for you. Take some of these ashes. She's like, how am I supposed to get them? I was like, I don't know. When nobody's looking, scoop them out. Then go find Prince and blow it on him. Throw it on. I was like, I will make sure you have money set aside because you are going to get arrested. They're going to be like, why? Some strange woman attacked Prince with some dirt.
Prince's plot.
Yeah. But
hi Prince, I'm doing this for Regina.
Right. Like, this is for Regina. But he, because Prince is he is my favorite artist, but he passed away already. So I was like, oh girl, you lucked out because he already passed away. Now, unless somebody can find out where he's buried and put some ashes down there with him, I don't know. But I just want a nice little simple urn. I already told my family, you don't have to bury me. What I honestly would like, in a perfect world, Viking funeral. That's what I want. Put my body on some twigs and branches of a raft.
Like that.
And I want somebody with an arrow. And set me ablaze. And that is what I really want.
Push me.
But those are illegal nowadays. So I can't have that. But they do allow you to do what's called a sea burial.
I was going to say that.
So I want to do a sea burial. Don't dump my whole body there. Because again, like I said, I would like to be cremated and then put in the urn. And then you can cast my urn off to sea. I can be buried in the sea. That's fine.
Like in House of the Dragon.
Under the sea.
Oh, if you play Under the Sea at your sea burial, I'm going to leave.
Wait.
I'm going to be like, I am. I'm going to be like, no, I don't.
Why not? Why can't I play Under the Sea?
Is it going to be the upbeat Under the Sea or a
There's
slow
the
down?
only one I know.
No, I mean somebody can slow.
Oh, like how they just remix Cuffin.
Yes.
I feel like falling in love.
Right. So theirs be like Under the Sea, Under the Sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.
What do
with violins.
They got up on the sun? They got a hot crustacean bond.
With the violins. I would lose my entire. I'm like, I'm gone.
See, now she done gave me an idea, y'all. I might just.
I'm gonna look, y'all. I'm gonna tell her husband I'm dipping out early because I told her about this about 20 years ago. I said, don't do this.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's what I would like. And again, I would like people to wear white because I don't want it to be all depressing and that's why I told my family, I said, take the money and split it and live nice. Now, I did tell my husband, I was like, sorry, but you can't remarry. I did tell him that. I was like, sorry, you may have another relationship, but I do believe that, yes, we will have an afterlife. Yeah. And yes, I know everybody says, but there is nothing that's such as marriage and all that stuff and afterlife. Lies. I don't believe that. I do
find my man.
Right. I'm going to find my man, okay? After the end of the world and after the rapture and after that day has come,
he ain't gonna look the same.
I'll be looking for Matthew. I'll be like, where's Matthew at?
That's Bae. He go right there amongst the clouds.
I'm not going to be fighting with your future wife. Like, what do I look like? I'm coming down and I'm a descending. I imagine myself descending
celestial orb
from the clouds coming down. Then,
I made it, babe.
Right, like, hey, honey. And then there's another woman, and she'll be like, honey. Who is she? And I'll be like, listen, I have the power of God, baby.
You better move.
You better move before I disintegrate your behind. So, but yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people are like, that doesn't make sense because of the afterlife, But I'm like, yeah, but again, if you read the book of Revelation, they do talk about after the rapture and all that stuff, we will basically be living on the new earth.
Mm-hmm.
So you are still going to come and live on the earth if you read the Bible and you believe in the Bible.
Right.
If you don't, then hey, that's on
the
you.
Entire purpose.
Right. That's the whole entire purpose. But again, if that's not what you believe, that's on you. But that's what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that me and my husband and my family will be reliving on this earth. And I ain't doing no sister wives situation because you done got remarried.
Oh, man.
Absolutely not. So I done worked myself up and got how I get hot after my own funeral.
So, okay. All right, next bonus episode, we'll talk about the happier side of, we can talk about the weddings, okay? We'll talk about the funerals, talk about how a black church does a good
No, but
wedding.
seriously though, let me ask you this. Because if you get married and you pass away, are you going to allow him to remarry?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it's not just me, because people be looking at me like, I can't believe you.
No,
you just gonna make him be alone for the
I
rest
would
of
not
his
do that.
life? And I'm like,
I wouldn't get remarried, and I hope he wouldn't get remarried.
That's what I told him. I'm not gonna get remarried. And I'm not saying be alone.
No.
You may go and have some fun if
Have you a little jump off.
so
That's fine.
choose.
I'll be damned if you get
But you can't-
serious enough to have a marriage.
Right. No, you ain't having no, absolutely not.
No.
Okay, cool. Because people be looking at me like I'm crazy.
It's not just you, friend. It's
Thank
not.
you. Well, thank you very much, because I'm gonna. I guess it would be me and Jessica descending upon the clouds looking for our bays. Right.
Halfway down.
Who this?
Harper, who this woman?
Who this woman?
Shoot.
Okay, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this two-part bonus episode of ours. We are going to be going on a little bit of a break because, yes, even though my husband and I are actually married, we're having a wedding ceremony.
Woo!
So we are taking a break to have that, have some fun, kick off the summer right, and then we'll be back.
We'll be back before
with
you know it.
season 2.
Before you know it.
Yes.
Yes.
So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Please be sure to leave comments about some of your life experience as a child growing up, or some of the things that we discussed, or any comment feedback is definitely always appreciated.
Even if it's negative, drop it. I don't care. I got to smoke for you. I'll come. Look, no, but yes, I definitely would love to hear your thoughts on anything. So,
all right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us again. Woo! My bubbles are relaxed.
See, look, I started before you even.
So next time we will have our tambourine, and she will have the children.
I forgot to order my tambourine. I'll have it by season 2.
All right, y'all have a good one. Bye.